The town of Willow Creek had a way of making people small. It wasn't that it was cruel, it was just that everyone knew everything about everyone else. Achievements spread like wildfire, and so did failures. If a kid won a spelling bee, the whole town buzzed. If someone's crops failed, whispers floated on the wind. It was a place where reputation meant everything, and sometimes, where showing off was the surest way to lose respect. Ethan Miller grew up in this quiet town. From the start, he was different. Where others bragged about their new bikes or the grades they got, Ethan kept quiet. He had a natural shyness, but more than that, his father, a farmer with calloused hands and a gentle soul, had drilled into him one principle. Son, don't show off. Let your work speak for itself. Loud success fades fast. Quiet success lasts forever. As a boy, Ethan didn't quite understand it. Why not tell people if you were proud of something? But as he grew, he began to see the wisdom in it. When he got the highest marks in math, he didn't gloat. When he caught the biggest fish at the lake, he let others brag while he smiled quietly. People began to notice, Ethan wasn't invisible, as he sometimes feared. Instead, he became respected. Reliable. Steady. Still, Ethan wrestled with doubt. There were times he wanted to shout his achievements to the world. Especially in high school, when popularity seemed to hinge on how loud you could make your victories. He played basketball, good enough to carry the team in several games, but the coach praised others who celebrated loudly, pounding their chests after scoring. Ethan just jogged back, expression calm. Some kids mocked him for being boring. But one person noticed him differently, Lila Anderson. She was the kind of girl who lit up rooms without trying. You're different, she told Ethan once after a game. You don't need to show off. It's like, you already know who you are. Her words stayed with him, though he never quite believed them. Years passed, and Ethan carried that principle into adulthood. He went to college on a small scholarship, studied engineering, and worked part-time jobs without complaint. While others posted about internships and promotions, Ethan stayed quiet, his focus on doing his work well. He sent money home whenever he could to help his parents, never mentioning the sacrifice to his friends. When he graduated, he didn't have the flashiest job offer, but he had what mattered: stability, gratitude, and a reputation for integrity. But life, as always, had its turns. One day, while working in a mid-sized construction firm in the city, Ethan noticed an error in the design of a bridge project. It was subtle, something others overlooked, but it could have caused disaster if left unchecked. Ethan stayed late for nights on end, redoing calculations, drafting corrections, making sure the design would hold. When the bridge was finally completed, it was hailed as a success. The city leaders held a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The senior engineer took the stage, smiling for cameras, and proudly announced the project a triumph. Ethan stood in the crowd, unmentioned, his name nowhere in the speeches. A flicker of bitterness stirred in his chest. But then he saw a family walking across the bridge, children laughing, parents holding their hands without worry. And Ethan remembered his father's voice, "Quiet success lasts forever." That night, he went home and slept peacefully, knowing his unseen work had kept lives safe. The years rolled forward. Ethan's career blossomed slowly, not with fame but with trust. Companies sought him out, not because he was loud, but because he was reliable. He earned promotions, yet never bragged. He helped colleagues, often fixing their mistakes quietly, never demanding recognition. Then came the moment that tested everything. One winter, a massive storm hit Willow Creek. The old dam outside town, built decades ago, was at risk of breaking. Panic spread quickly, families rushed to higher ground, businesses shut down, and the mayor called for help. Ethan, now a respected engineer, rushed back home. Inspecting the dam, he realized the danger was real. Cracks had spread along the base, and the water pressure was too high. If it broke, the whole town could be washed away. A team of engineers debated loudly, some insisting there was nothing they could do in time. Ethan stayed quiet, studying, calculating. Finally, he spoke. "We can reinforce the weak points with emergency concrete pours. It won't fix everything, but it will buy us time." The others hesitated. The plan was risky. The mayor looked at Ethan. "Will it work?" Ethan nodded once. "It's our best chance." No boasting, no dramatics, just calm conviction. They worked through the night. Ethan led the team with steady hands, directing volunteers, guiding equipment, standing ankle-deep in freezing water. When exhaustion set in, he kept going. And by dawn, the cracks were sealed. The dam held. The town was saved. Reporters swarmed, eager for a hero. The mayor praised the team effort. Some names were mentioned in the news, but not Ethan's. He didn't mind. As he walked home, drenched and weary, he saw the townspeople hugging, children running, lives spared. That was enough. But destiny had one more surprise in store. Months later, at a town gathering, the mayor stood at the podium. "There's someone here who has taught us the true meaning of success. Not loud, not boastful, but quiet, steady, and selfless." He called Ethan forward. For the first time, Ethan's name was spoken before the whole town. Applause thundered, but Ethan only smiled humbly. After the ceremony, Lila, who had long since become a schoolteacher in town, approached him with tears in her eyes. "I always knew," she whispered. "You don't need to show off, Ethan. You've been building more than bridges and dams. You've been building lives, quietly, steadily. And now the whole world sees it." Ethan finally understood what his father meant. Loud success may bring applause, but quiet success brings legacy. Final message. Success isn't measured by how loudly we celebrate, but by how deeply we serve. The world may not always notice, but every act of integrity, every quiet victory, leaves a mark far greater than applause. True greatness is not in showing off, but in showing up, again and again, for what matters. And that is the art of quiet success.